Hello everyone and welcome back to our channel. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most famous and perhaps most misunderstood stories in all of Greek mythology, the abduction of Persephone by Hades. We often hear the simple version: Hades, the gloomy god of the underworld, snatched the beautiful goddess of spring. But is that all there is to it? Why did this happen? Was it just a whim, or were there deeper forces at play? Stick around as we unravel the layers of this ancient and powerful tale. So, let's set the scene. Imagine a beautiful, sun-drenched meadow filled with the most vibrant flowers you've ever seen. This is the playground of Persephone, the daughter of Zeus, the king of the gods, and Demeter, the powerful goddess of the harvest and agriculture. Persephone is the embodiment of spring, youthful, joyful, and utterly radiant. She spends her days laughing and dancing with nymphs, her presence making the flowers bloom and the world feel alive. She is, in every sense, the light of her mother's life. Meanwhile, far beneath the earth, in the shadowy realm of the underworld, rules Hades. He is one of the big three Olympian gods, alongside his brothers Zeus and Poseidon. After they defeated the Titans, they drew lots to divide the cosmos. Zeus got the sky, Poseidon the seas, and Hades drew the underworld. Now, let's be clear. Hades isn't the devil. He's not inherently evil. He's a stern, just, and powerful ruler of the dead. But his kingdom is a place of darkness, melancholy, and shades. It's a lonely existence, devoid of the warmth and life of the world above. One day, while Persephone is gathering flowers, a strange and magnificent bloom catches her eye. It's a narcissus flower, said to have been placed there by Gaia, the earth goddess, specifically to lure her. As she reaches out to pluck it, the ground beneath her feet splits open with a deafening roar. From this chasm, a golden chariot drawn by black, immortal horses emerges. Driving it is Hades himself. Before Persephone or her companions can even scream, he sweeps her into his chariot and descends back into the darkness, the earth closing seamlessly behind them. So, the big question: why? Why did Hades do this? Was it simply an act of a lonely god wanting a queen? Well, it's more complicated than that. According to most versions of the myth, Hades didn't act alone. He was lovesick, yes, but he went to his brother, the king of the gods, Zeus, for permission. Hades had seen Persephone and was completely captivated by her. He wanted to make her his queen, and Zeus, for reasons we'll get into, agreed. He gave his consent for the abduction. Why would Zeus agree to something so terrible, knowing it would devastate his sister, Demeter? The reasons are complex and rooted in the politics of the gods. Firstly, Zeus was a master strategist. An alliance between the powerful domains of the underworld and the harvest, through marriage, would create a significant power block. It would solidify the order of the cosmos. Secondly, Zeus may have seen it as a way to keep his powerful brother, Hades, content. A happy Hades meant a stable underworld. And thirdly, Zeus knew Demeter would never willingly let her daughter go. Demeter was fiercely protective, and the idea of her precious child living in the dark, cold underworld was unthinkable. So, in Zeus's mind, a swift, decisive act was the only way this marriage could happen. Back on Earth, Demeter is in a state of absolute panic. Her daughter has vanished without a trace. She searches every corner of the earth for 9 days and 9 nights, carrying torches, not eating, not drinking, not resting. Her grief is so immense, so all-consuming, that the world begins to suffer. As the goddess of the harvest, her sorrow causes the crops to fail. The earth grows cold and barren. Seeds refuse to sprout. Trees lose their leaves, and a devastating famine sweeps across the land. Humanity is on the brink of extinction, and their desperate prayers and useless sacrifices go unanswered by the grieving goddess. Finally, Demeter encounters Hecate, the goddess of magic and crossroads, who heard Persephone's cries but didn't see who took her. Hecate suggests they consult Helios, the all-seeing sun god, who witnesses everything that happens on Earth. Helios, taking pity on the distraught mother, reveals the truth. It was Hades, and he acted with the permission of Zeus. Demeter's grief turns to pure, unadulterated fury. Betrayed by her own brother, she renounces her divine duties on Mount Olympus and continues to wander the earth, ensuring that nothing will grow until her daughter is returned. The situation is now critical. Zeus realizes he's made a massive miscalculation. With humanity dying off, there would be no one left to worship or make offerings to the gods. His entire cosmic order is collapsing, so he has no choice but to intervene. He sends messenger after messenger to Demeter, offering her gifts and begging her to return to Olympus and let the earth live again. But Demeter is unyielding. Her demand is simple and absolute. I will not let a single seed sprout until I see my daughter again. Seeing that Demeter will not be moved, Zeus finally relents. He sends the messenger god, Hermes, down to the underworld with a command for Hades: release Persephone. Hades, ever the just ruler, knows he must obey the decree of the king of the gods. But he's also clever. He had been a kind and respectful husband to Persephone, treating her not as a prisoner but as a queen. He had given her power and authority over his realm. Before she leaves, he offers her one last thing to eat: a pomegranate seed. Now, why is this tiny seed so important? In the ancient world, accepting food or drink from a host was a powerful symbol of binding hospitality. More specifically, consuming the food of the underworld bound the eater to that realm. Persephone, either out of hunger, a trick by Hades, or perhaps even a subconscious desire to stay, eats a few of the sweet, jewel-like seeds. Some sources say 6, others say 4. The exact number doesn't matter as much as the act itself. She has tasted the food of the dead. When Hermes brings Persephone back to the surface, the reunion with her mother is ecstatic and overwhelming. The moment Demeter embraces her daughter, the world bursts back to life. Flowers bloom instantly, fields turn green, and the sun shines warmly once more. But their joy is short-lived. When Demeter asks if she ate anything in the underworld, Persephone confesses about the pomegranate seeds. The fates had decreed that anyone who ate the food of the underworld must return. A compromise had to be reached. Because Persephone had eaten the seeds, she was now bound to Hades and his kingdom. But because she was forced there against her will, and because of Demeter's immense power, she wouldn't have to stay there forever. The ruling, mediated by Zeus or Persephone's grandmother Rhea, was this: for every seed she ate, Persephone would spend 1 month of the year in the underworld as its queen. So, for part of the year, she lives with her husband, Hades. During this time, Demeter grieves, and the earth experiences autumn and winter. The land becomes cold and barren. But when the time is up, Persephone returns to the world above, and her reunion with Demeter brings back the spring and summer. The earth rejoices, plants grow, and life flourishes. And so, the abduction of Persephone becomes the foundational myth that explains the changing of the seasons. It's a story of loss and return, of grief and joy, that is played out in the natural world every single year. So, to answer our original question, why did Hades kidnap Persephone? It was born from a lonely god's love, sanctioned by a king's political maneuvering, and ultimately resulted in one of the most powerful and enduring origin stories of all time. It's a tale that shows us how love, loss, grief, and compromise are forces as fundamental as the seasons themselves. What do you think of this myth? Is it a tragic story of abduction or a complex tale of arranged marriage and cosmic balance? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you so much for joining me on this mythological journey today. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next deep dive. Until next time, stay curious,